down with OTT.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you know. For joining us here, we got the very latest on Tropical Storm Debby. Our weather team's been here throughout the night watching it closely. No huge changes at this point. Okay, we have a tropical storm, winds at 50 miles per hour. So right now sustained winds at 50, some gusts though up close to 70 miles per hour, and still about 270 miles to the southwest of Tampa right now. Now as we look at the track, no big changes overnight. No surprise there. We've got a really good handle on exactly the path it's taking and the movement here as it moves up toward the Big Bend of Florida. So as we take a look at those winds, still expecting it to strengthen over this warm water that's running about 4 or 5 degrees above normal. So we're talking record water temperatures. So that's why we're going to go from a tropical storm today to a Category 1 hurricane as we head into late today and tonight. But the good news for us here at home, Hillsborough County, Pasco County. Oh, we're watching Hernando County. I know we still have those memories of the floods of the storms past, but this one's a little different. Not getting its act together until it's past our viewing area. So that will help us with some of the storm surge, keeping it on the lower side. Okay, and also because this system has slowed down, it's looking like it's not going to surge in with high tides. It's not going to coincide with those high tides, keeping those water levels at 2 to 4 feet for most of us on the surge. Now you can see the landfall. That would be tomorrow morning, okay, as we're waking up right about 7, 8 a.m. And then it'll make a very slow track from the Gulf of Mexico to the Atlantic. It could take more than 36 hours. So that's the big concern with this. As it stalls out and slows down with a ridge of high pressure to the north, it looks like we could have just unbelievable rain amounts. So big flooding expected for a good portion of North Florida, South Georgia, and even up into the Carolinas. So as we look at that track again, waking up 50-mile-per-hour winds, the National Hurricane Center advisory is in. And what we're seeing here are those winds that will slowly come down as we head into tomorrow. Notice once it goes over land and move this here, we're talking about wind speeds down into the tropical storm force winds. But the big key here is flooding. This is not about the wind with this storm. It is about the water. And of course, our weather team is here. Amanda Pappas is here. And we're watching these spaghetti miles. They have done some fascinating things. Crazy spaghetti miles is what I call them. And that's because it's going to stall out over North Florida and South Georgia. So notice, yeah, we've got a good track coming by Tampa. The good news is it's not stalling by us here at home. Okay, so that'll keep our rain totals a little lower, and actually a lot lower in many respects compared to what's going to happen across Interstate 10 in South Georgia. We take a look at our satellite radar composite, and you can see we are good to go this morning. Very quiet to start, but as we head toward 8, 9 a.m., we're going to start to see some of those bands as we go into 9, 10 a.m. And some of those bands will be actually moving our way, and maybe some strong to severe weather. So that's what we're going to continue to hone in on here as a weather team. But for now, it is quiet. We take a look at the big picture, and as we take a look, again, the storm system still a good 240 miles from home. And Amanda, I've got controls, so we should be good to go here. So I'm going to keep these maps moving. And you can see, again, the big feeder bands would not start to affect our area until as we head into mid to late morning. In fact, our highest severe risk likely would be this afternoon. So our local impacts do include those tropical storm warnings here at home. And notice you see the yellow, that's the tropical storm watch for us here. And as we go through the afternoon into the evening, that'll be the brunt of the flooding, the storm surge as we head into later this afternoon. But again, we're going to keep that at 2 to 4 feet. Okay, so local impacts will continue. And then as we head into tomorrow, we're still going to be watching some flooding rain as we go into this forecast. In fact, let's take a look. And we got our Citrus, Hernando, and Pasco counties. It looks like the big impacts between Sunday at noon and Monday at noon, 40 to 60 mile per hour winds. And there's that heavy rain we were talking about, 6 to 12 inches. Taking a look at Pinellas and Hillsborough County, winds of 40 to 55 miles per hour, rain of 5 to 10 inches plus, and surge of 2 to 4 feet. And Amanda, we're watching this closely. Of course, that surge is all important.
Of course, always knowing that the surge, the water, right? We always run from water, we hide from wind. So again, that's the most deadly part of any storm is going to be that water. And those major impacts, again, mostly flooding, right? I mean, for most of the area, we're going to see a lot of rain over a short period of time, leading to that freshwater flooding and also that coastal flooding, Mike. So that's a really big thing too. Talk talking about Manatee and Sarasota County. So, of course, they're going to be a little earlier because they're farther to the south. 7 a.m. On today, excuse me, and then till 7 a.m. tomorrow. The impact, those winds from 40 to 50 miles per hour. That rain, look at this, Mike, 4 to 8 inches, even more
that's
than
a lot
that.
of
We
rain.
know.
Yeah,
Surge 2 to 4 feet. And what do you need to know? Just that tropical storm warning, of course. Now, inland zones are going to be the ones that are least impacted, right? I think that overall, me and you can both say that realistically our inland zones are going to be feeling less of the brunt of it in comparison to a lot of our coastal areas. So that's some good news for us. But just taking a look at that cone again, you can see that we have this system. It's going to be sitting right offshore there. And as it sits out over the open, warm Gulf, that's going to allow for this system to better organize, strengthen a little bit, and then get that Category 1 status. Right, Mike?
That's right. In fact, we'll continue to watch that track through the day. And again, as it moves closer to home, as it goes to our west, that's when our severe weather risk will increase. And really, I'm really honing in on the highest risk of that would be this afternoon into this evening. As we look at our weather impact alert day, okay, that means to stay put. Have your 10 Tampa Bay apps, enable notifications, stream live with us. Not a day to be out and about. Spend some of that family time because we're talking about flooding, rain, and watching that surge come up. So you see the biggest impacts right now, the rain and the surge, 6 to 10 inches plus, and that surge of 2 to 4 feet. As we take a look at the very latest, in fact, we got the little futurecast coming up. Our very latest data on the futurecast is showing the storm system moving north today. So there's 8 a.m. and we talked about our first bands across the area that could bring some of those high winds and maybe some isolated severe weather. So right as we head toward 8, 9 a.m. and then we'll keep it in motion. We head toward 1 p.m. this afternoon. That's when I really think things will start to pick up. Moves closer to home, and you see the bands really starting to intensify as they move into Manatee and Sarasota area. We're also talking about Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, starting to see some of the heaviest rain by 1 o'clock. 5 o'clock, there it is, due west. And once that happens, we're going to start to see a wind shift as we head into late day and this evening. Watching that surge, but it looks like for most of us not coming at high tide, so that'll help us out. In fact, the strongest flow off the Gulf would be mid to late evening, 10, 11 o'clock, heavy rain, flooding a big impact. And then the surge, again, keeping it close to 2 to 4 feet. And then there's that landfall tomorrow morning. Again, the heavy bands of rain just persistent here at home as those bands feed into the center of the storm. And then as we take a look, it continues to just slowly move across Interstate 10 and eventually across South Georgia into the Carolinas. So for the next 12 hours, let's take a look, putting the forecast together for you today. Increasing bands of squally weather. Windy, we'll still have some of those wind gusts, 30, 40, even 50 miles per hour across the area. Can't rule out maybe a couple power outages, especially if you get in under one of those severe weather bands. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. But again, it's really about the water content and the heavy rain. Tonight, we're still going to have those squalls, and that'll continue into tomorrow morning. So if you have plans on Monday, again, another day where it's going to be a tough start, or really it's one of those things where we're going to still see some of those heavy those bands of rain, and it looks like things will start to slowly improve, but that probably would not be until the afternoon hours. So of course our weather team here for you, and we've got our show coming up live on Channel 10 Tampa Bay, starting at 7 a.m. And of course, we'll keep you updated on air and online.
Me and Mike have got you covered every single step of the way this morning. No need to fear. And we also have you online and on the app. Download that 10 Tampa Bay app, especially as we could see in some of these bands of rain and wind that we do have that possibility of an isolated tornado. So just in case we get a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, God forbid, you have a way to get alerts, especially too if we see any power outages. That app really is going to come in handy. But me and Mike are going to step you through this storm every single step of the way. We'll be here with you all morning and all day long.